Well, just unpacked the other cabinet, started to strip it down, and yeah, it's obviously been knocked about in transit. Obviously not the end of the world, we're going to refurbish these anyway. And you can see there it's cracked, so this whole baffle, yeah, it's taken a bit of a beating, but yeah, we can glue it and clamp it back together. Bummer. Right, so both cabinets are sanded back. So I've blown them out with compressed air. So I'm going to give them a good wipe down. And the fillers worked out really well. You can really see it. A lot of it's been sanded back. Yeah, and then they're ready to be wrapped. I need to give the front baffle and the back baffle another spray of paint. But yeah, we're coming along pretty well. Actually, the veneer was thicker than I thought. I've gone at this with some 200 grit sandpaper, I think, on the orbital sander, and it's only a few areas I've actually gone through where there was dents and things like that. But yeah, thicker than I thought. So if there weren't all these bumps and scratches, I probably could have salvaged it. But there we go. Anyway, let's crack on. Capacitors go in the middle. Right, so this is one crossover finished. So we've got a first order filter on the woofer and a second order on the tweeter. I've used a 10 and a 2 together to make the 12 that we need. These are really good quality polypropylene capacitors, and you know, we've got good air core inductors, so yep, much better arrangement than we had before. So we come in on our positive here, through our capacitors, out to our tweeter with our inductor down to ground, and then on the woofer we come in, round our inductor, out to the woofer, and here are our ground wires. So negative in, negative to the tweeter, negative to the woofer. And on the back, point to point wired, nice quality silver solder. So yeah, kind of as good as we can get it really. So having measured these speakers, I found that this tweeter doesn't play up very high, probably to about 13 kilohertz, and then it does roll off quite steeply, so that's probably where the name HF1300 came from. But it does play fairly low, which is good, especially when you're coupling it to a big woofer. Kevin from the Ditton Works emailed me, and he reckons if you remove the paint from the turbofan kind of grill, it would probably play up louder. Apparently that's a little trick. So I've shot near field measurements of this, because my concern is that that paint, if you remove it, that metal could ring a bit. That paint might be dampening it. So yeah, I'm going to do it, and it certainly looks better that way. And then I can near field measurements again and see if we can actually see any difference in the measurements, and then whether we actually hear it. So yeah, and also I thought you might like a look inside. Okay, so 3 screws, remove the plastic cover, and there we go. So the turbo grill comes off. So we'll strip the paint back on that. As you can see, it's nice colour underneath. And I've seen pictures of what this looks like when it's been stripped, and I think it looks better actually. And then the tweeter itself, we've got some card packing pieces, and then the diaphragm itself. Very similar arrangement to the HF2000 with these pegs locating the diaphragm. So yeah, very nice indeed. Right, so that's them both out. So that's what the back looks like. So that's what they're going to look like when they're stripped. And the front. I've already noticed how some of the paint is kind of splintered a bit, and giving us some really sharp little edges, which for real high frequency is not going to help us out. So yeah, this is probably a good thing to do anyway. So Kevin, thank you very much. We'll see how it works out. Guys, go and check out the Ditton Works channel, and yeah, let's see how this works. Right, so I've got both the Ditton 15s in for a bit of testing, and you can see there's a red line, which is one of the speakers, and there's a blue line, which is the other. And when I was shooting responses at the first speaker, which is the red line, when we were hitting the upper frequencies in the little chirp it does, I could hear a tinny ringing, and I obviously have a bit of a problem with the tweeter, because you can see the woofer starts to roll off here, and then the tweeter is all over the map. And to me that sounds like a problem with the diaphragm. So I'm going to have to take that apart and have a look. But the blue trace, so if I get rid of the, let's get rid of the red one. So the blue trace is the speaker which I'm pretty happy with. So this line along the bottom is 80 dB. This line above is 85. So within a range of 5 dB, we're pretty good. The polycaps I've used a value ever so slightly higher. 12 microfarad was the original. I've gone for about 12.5, and it's just pushed the woofer, the tweeter ever so slightly into the woofer. And before, this used to roll off quite a bit before the tweeter would come in, and now we're better. So yeah, I'm fairly happy with that, but you can see at 13 kilohertz we drop off a cliff. And that is the problem with the HF 1300 tweeter, which is often why you see that tweeter with a super tweeter, like the Spender BC1s, Rogers LS36s. They use this tweeter with a super tweeter. The, what is it, BMW DM4s have the same arrangement as well. So yeah, just one of those things. So I'm certainly not adding a super tweeter to these, but yeah, let's have a look at the red trace again on its own. So as you can see, the woofer rolls off at about a kHz, 1000 hertz. It starts rolling off, and then we should be seeing the tweeter coming up and being fairly even here, but we're all over the place. So I've got to take that tweeter apart. But yeah, so that's sort of where we're at. So I'll do that for the next video, and then also do the grills in the next video. And I think these are complete, and give them a good listen up. But yeah, if I look at that blue trace again, I'm actually fairly happy with it. So if I just change the limits, let's just bring this down to 100. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting miracles from these speakers, but they're not too bad. 200 hertz lower, my room causes this suck out, so that's to be expected. But yeah, okay, so a few more bits and pieces to finish up, but yeah, not looking too bad.